Imagine this: you've spent years meditating. You've sat through pain, boredom, and doubt. You've peeled back layers of your ego, faced your darkest fears, and finally, you taste it. Enlightenment. Pure, radiant, infinite. You feel like you've won the cosmic lottery. But then, a master walks up to you, looks you in the eye, and says, that enlightenment you just experienced, it's a trap. Get rid of it. How would you react? Would you cling tighter? Or would you have the courage to let it go? This is the heart of koan number 12 from the Gateless Gate, a story so radical it might just dismantle everything you think you know about spirituality. The master's name is not important. But his lesson? It's a bomb. Because here's the truth, the very thing you're chasing might be the thing holding you back. And if you're brave enough to hear this, your whole world is about to flip upside down. Let's explore this further. Imagine you've been climbing a mountain for years. Each step is a meditation, each breath a prayer. You reach the summit and see the sunrise, a moment of pure, unadulterated bliss. But then someone tells you that the summit isn't the goal, it's just another step. You must now climb down, and the descent is harder because you don't want to leave. This is the human condition. We want to hold on to beauty, to capture it, to own it. But Zen says, the moment you hold on, you lose it. The master's command isn't cruelty, it's a mirror. He shows you that your enlightenment is just another story, another identity. Think of the monk in the story. He had dedicated his life to practice. He had endured physical pain, mental anguish, and countless hours of sitting. When he finally felt the breakthrough, it was like a door opening. But the master's words were a sledgehammer to that door. Throw it away, he said. Why? Because the door you thought you opened was just a thought. The real door has no hinges, no handle, no lock. It's always open. You just need to stop believing you're outside. This koan is a direct challenge to every spiritual seeker. It asks, are you willing to give up the very thing you've been seeking? Most of us want enlightenment as a possession, a trophy to show we're special. The story goes like this: a monk, after decades of intense practice, finally achieves a profound awakening. He's ecstatic. He runs to his master, eager to share his breakthrough. But the master, instead of congratulating him, says something shocking: now that you've attained enlightenment, you must throw it away. If you keep holding on to it, you're still trapped. Wait, what? Throw away enlightenment? That's like telling a starving person to throw away food. But the master isn't cruel. He's wise. He sees a subtle but deadly trap. The moment you think you've gotten enlightenment, you've created a new possession. A new identity. I am enlightened. That I is still there. The ego, the self, the sense of a separate being, it's just disguised as a spiritual achievement. The monk, at first, is confused. He protests, but this is everything I've worked for. The master smiles. Exactly. Now let it go. Let go of the letting go. Even the concept of attainment is a chain. This koan reveals a brutal truth: the path itself can become the prison. Even mindfulness, even meditation, if you cling to them as your practice, they become just another story you tell yourself. The real breakthrough isn't gaining something new. It's dropping everything, including the idea of dropping. Let's unpack this further. Consider the historical context. The Gateless Gate was compiled in the 13th century by the Chinese Zen master woman Huikai. He collected 48 koans, each designed to shatter the mind's habitual patterns. Koan number 12, which we're discussing, is one of the most famous. It's about a monk named Zuigan, though some versions say it's about a different master. Regardless, the core is the same: the danger of spiritual materialism. Think of the Buddha himself. After his enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, he didn't run around proclaiming, "I'm enlightened." He simply sat a day. He taught for 45 years, but never claimed a special status. When asked, "You a god?" he said, "No." "Are you a man?" "No." "Then what are you?" "I am awake." That's it. No identity, no possession. The master in our koan is echoing this: enlightenment is not something to have, it's something to be. And being can't be owned. So, when the monk runs to the master, he's already lost the essence. He's turned awakening into an object. The master's command is a surgical strike: remove the object, and the subject dissolves. This is why Zen is often called the teaching without words. Words create dualities, you and me, this and that, enlightened and unenlightened. The master's words are a paradox designed to short-circuit the mind. If you try to understand it logically, you'll fail. You have to experience it directly. Now, let's connect this to your life. You're probably here because you're interested in mindfulness, meditation, or Zen. Maybe you've had moments of clarity, a quiet mind, a peaceful heart. And that's beautiful. But here's the question: are you using those moments as stepping stones, or as trophies? Do you say to yourself, "I meditated for an hour today, I'm so spiritual"? Or, "I'm more mindful than others"? If so, you've fallen into the same trap as the monk. The ego loves to co-opt spiritual progress. It turns enlightenment into a resume builder. The real wisdom? It's not about accumulating experiences. It's about being so present that there's no one left to accumulate. Think about your own practice. When you sit to meditate, are you trying to get something? Peace? Clarity? A better life? That's fine as a starting point. But the deeper path asks you to sit with no goal. No expectation. Just pure, naked awareness. The moment you label a meditation as good or bad, you've stepped out of the present. You're back in the mind, judging, comparing. The master's lesson is simple: even the highest spiritual state is just another passing cloud. Don't build a house on it. Let it come, let it go. And if you think you've arrived, guess again. That's just the ego's last trick. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you're meditating, and you feel a deep sense of peace. It's wonderful. But then a thought arises: "I'm so peaceful." This is real progress. In that instant, you've lost the peace. You've turned it into a concept. The peace becomes a memory, and you start chasing it again. This is the cycle of suffering. The master's instruction is to see that thought as just another thought. Don't cling to the peace, don't reject it. Just be aware. The peace is still there, but now it's not your peace, it's just peace. This is the difference between a spiritual experience and a spiritual realization. An experience comes and goes. A realization is timeless. It's not something you have, it's something you are. Think of the famous Zen story of the cow. A man loses his cow, searches everywhere, and finally finds it. But when he finds it, he realizes it was always in his own backyard. He just didn't see it. Similarly, you don't need to find enlightenment, you need to stop looking away from it. Your own awareness, right now, is already enlightened. The only problem is you think you're not. Let's go deeper. Why does the master demand that the monk throw away enlightenment? Because enlightenment, as a concept, is dualistic. It implies there's something to achieve, and someone to achieve it. But Zen points to non-duality, a state where there's no subject and object, no seeker and sought. The moment you say, "I am enlightened," you've split reality in two. You've created an I and an enlightenment. That's the opposite of what awakening actually is. True awakening is the end of the I. It's not that you become enlightened, it's that the illusion of a separate self dissolves, and only the vast, luminous present remains. So the master's command, "throw it away," isn't a paradox for fun. It's a direct instruction to see through the last veil. The monk, if he's truly ready, will realize there's nothing to throw away. Because there's no one to throw it, and nothing to be thrown. The enlightenment he thought he had was just a thought. A beautiful, seductive thought. But still a thought. And thoughts come and go. The real thing, the ineffable, the unborn, the uncreated, was never gained or lost. It was always here. You don't need to achieve it. You need to stop blocking it with your achievements. This is why Zen masters often say, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. Kill the idea of Buddha. Kill the idea of enlightenment. Then, maybe, you'll see what's always been staring you in the face. Let's look at this from a historical perspective. The phrase "kill the Buddha" comes from Linji Yishuang, a 9th century Zen master. He was known for his radical teachings. He said, if you meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha. If you meet the patriarchs, kill the patriarchs. He wasn't advocating violence, he was advocating direct experience. Any concept, no matter how sacred, is a barrier to reality. Even the concept of a Buddha can become an idol. The master in our koan is doing the same, is killing the monk's idea of enlightenment. This is the essence of Zen, it's iconoclastic. It doesn't worship anything, not even itself. It's a finger pointing at the moon, but if you stare at the finger, you miss the moon. The monk was staring at his own finger. The master said, look at the moon. But the monk said, but my finger is so beautiful. So the master cut off the finger. Metaphorically, of course. Now, think about your own spiritual journey. Have you ever clung to a teacher, a book, or a technique? Maybe you've read dozens of books on mindfulness. You've attended retreats. You can quote the Buddha. But are you any freer? Or have you just accumulated more knowledge? The master's koan is a test, you using spirituality to feed your ego, or to dissolve it. The answer is not in the words, it's in your experience. So, let's do a little experiment. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice the thoughts passing by. Now, find the thinker. Who is thinking? Is there a separate self behind the thoughts? So how does this change everything? First, it frees you from the tyranny of spiritual goals. You don't have to get anything. You don't have to be a good meditator. You don't have to reach a certain state. In fact, the more you try, the more you miss the point. Second, it reveals that every moment is already complete. You don't need to add anything. You don't need to subtract anything. The present moment, just as it is, with all its mess and beauty, is the ultimate teacher. Third, it destroys the idea of a spiritual path as a linear journey. There's no ladder to climb. There's no finish line. There's just this, right here, right now. And you're already it. But don't take my word for it. Try this, next time you meditate, notice if you're waiting for something. A feeling of peace. A flash of insight. A sense of progress. Then, just for a moment, drop the waiting. Drop the goal. Sit as if you already have everything you need. Because you do. The monk in the koan eventually understood. He stopped clinging to his enlightenment. He stopped clinging to the idea of himself. And in that letting go, he realized, there was never a gate to pass through. The gate was always open. He just had to stop trying to unlock it. That's the gateless gate, a door with no lock, no handle, and no wall around it. You're already through it. You just don't know it yet. Let's explore a practical application. Suppose you're in a stressful situation at work. Your boss criticizes you. Your first reaction might be to feel hurt, defensive, or angry. But if you've internalized this koan, you might pause. You might see that the you who was criticized is just a thought. The criticism is just a thought. The emotions are just thoughts. None of it is solid. In that pause, there's space. And in that space, you can respond with clarity instead of reacting with habit. This is the freedom that comes from letting go of the need to be enlightened. You don't need to be a perfect meditator, you just need to be present. The present moment is always forgiving. It doesn't judge you. It just is. So, when you find yourself grasping for a better meditation, or a deeper insight, remember the Master. He's not asking you to achieve anything. He's asking you to see that you already have everything. The gateless gate is open. You just have to stop trying to enter. Here's the closing insight: the Master who dismantled enlightenment wasn't cruel. He was compassionate beyond measure. He saw that the monk's greatest attachment was to his own awakening. And he cut it down with a single sentence. So I ask you, what are you holding on to? Your meditation practice? Your spiritual identity? Your idea of what enlightenment looks like? Whatever it is, can you let it go? Not by force, but by seeing through it. By realizing that it's just another thought, another story. The real treasure isn't something you can possess. It's the presence that remains when all possessions, including spiritual ones, are dropped. This is the radical heart of Zen. It's not about becoming a better person. It's about seeing that the person you thought you were was never real. And that's not a loss. It's a liberation. So go ahead. Sit. Breathe. And if you find yourself grasping for anything, peace, wisdom, even this koan, laugh at yourself. Then let it go. Because the gateless gate is always open. You just have to stop trying to enter. Thanks for watching. If this resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the only thing you need to throw away is the idea that there's something to throw away. Now, go be the silence that you already are. Let's reflect on a story from the Zen tradition. A student once asked his master, "What is the essence of Zen?" The master replied, "Have you eaten your rice?" The student said, "Yes." The master said, "Then wash your bowl." That's it. No grand philosophy. Just the simple, direct action of daily life. The koan we've explored is the same. It's a call to wash your bowl. To attend to what's right in front of you. The monk was so caught up in his enlightenment that he forgot to eat his rice. The master reminded him, life is not about special states, it's about being fully present in the ordinary. The extraordinary is hidden in the ordinary. So, when you leave this video, don't try to remember the koan. Just live your life. Wash your dishes. Walk your dog. Talk to your friend. And in those moments, if you're fully present, you'll see the gateless gate.